Hey, what's up everybody? We're back again, and today we're going to be taking a look at Mr. 1985 effect himself, Lil Pump. Now, if you're not already aware of Lil Pump, you've either been living under a rock, or maybe you're too young to remember the heyday of SoundCloud rap, because back in 2016, 2017, and even a little bit of 2018, you basically couldn't avoid this guy. He was mostly blowing up on Instagram for doing crazy antics, like yelling at people.
Yeah, fuck you too, nigga.
Yelling at people.
That fucking bag. And you guys are not gonna walk over and tell me that fucking bag, bro. That's not my bag.
Doing drugs, smoking weed in places that he shouldn't smoke weed, and mostly yelling at people, honestly. This was definitely during the loud equals funny era of the internet, but despite that, it wasn't only him yelling that got him the attention, it was also the fact that he was so young, he was doing a lot of drugs, he was flexing guns, he was acting crazy and out of control. He also happened to be coming out of Florida right around the time that everybody was blowing up out of that scene, with people like XXXTentacion, Ski Mask, Everybody for Members Only, Denzel Curry, and countless others. And on top of that, Instagram was absolutely popping off at the time, with people like Supreme Patty, Boont Gang, Joker 305, and many more getting attention on there. And Pump was one of those rare occasions of somebody who was able to straddle the line between being an Instagram goofball and an actual genuine rapper. I mean, he didn't get a whole lot of respect from the old heads, but at the time, basically nobody in the SoundCloud scene really was. He was able to continue to get bigger and bigger songs, get on Lyrical Lemonade early on, build himself up into a big star in the rap game, get a lot of attention from people who definitely didn't like him, and then finally hit his stride when he put out Gucci Gang, which became a giant meme online, and basically made him the face of SoundCloud for a good few years. But of course, when you're riding trends all the way to the top and you're growing at such a rapid pace that there's absolutely no way that you're going to be able to continue to do so in the following years, it's only a matter of time before you start to bottom out and then start to lose fame. And Pump was an absolute dumbass when it came to maintaining his relevancy in any way. After he got his money, he basically cut off everybody around him who genuinely had his best interest in mind, got a bunch of yes men around him, started doing way too many drugs, and of course, stopped dropping music. His last real stint of actual relevancy in the rap game came in late 2018 when he ended up getting on a song with Kanye West called I Love It, as well as getting a feature from XXXTentacion not too long after he passed away. And for one very small portion of time, there was some fans thinking that maybe Pump could turn his career around and become a more serious rapper, maybe not dropping the most lyrical, intelligent music of all time, but something a little bit smarter than, hey, I do drugs and I got money. And after a pretty disappointing album in 2019 that was way too late to actually capitalize on all of his buzz, he ended up getting dropped from his label, and ever since that day, he's basically been independent, doing whatever he wants. But when you think about it, it's kind of crazy to think that Lil Pump's entire career basically took place over the course of 5 years, from 2015 to 2020, although basically he was only really popping for about a year and a half. So you think in the grand scheme of the rap game that Lil Pump would be overall forgotten. I mean, there's been many one-hit wonders who have come and gone. I mean, Pop Hunna, Spot 'em Got 'em, Powfu, all those guys that came out of TikTok, but for some reason, Pump has continued to persist as the years went on. I mean, don't get me wrong, absolutely nobody cares about his music anymore. I can never really see him having a comeback with rap, but it does seem like people have a weird fascination with continuing to follow him after he fell off. Every once in a while, you see him pop up in the news for doing something stupid, like slapping his producer, hanging out on a live stream with Vitaly and catching predators, which honestly is pretty based, or dissing Eminem. But honestly, at this point, if you know him for any reason, it's probably for him supporting Donald Trump, because that's basically been his entire grift for the last 4 years. He really hasn't found anything else to do to get him attention besides continuing to go down this campaign. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to get political here. I really don't care about American politics. After all, I'm Canadian, so it doesn't really affect me all that much. But let's be honest, do you really think that Lil Pump is supporting Donald Trump because he really believes in his policies? He really likes the fact that he's taking troops home and that he's really doing the right thing for America? Or do you think that this might be for attention? Because ever since 2018, Lil Pump really hasn't been all that active on Instagram. He'll post a selfie here and there. Sometimes he ends up taking down all of his posts. But ever since Donald Trump ended up winning the election, he's been posting every single day. But I mean, whatever, dude. It doesn't bother me. Celebrate the victory. Get whatever clout you can off of this. I think it's kind of corny that he hasn't stopped for 4 years, and he even ended up getting Donald Trump tattooed on his leg. But I mean, it's Lil Pump. What do we really expect? But honestly, I think it's a little bit more important to focus on why Lil Pump all of a sudden had a change of heart. I mean, after all, he tweeted out in 2016, fuck Donald Trump, and then all of a sudden in 2020, he started supporting him. But at first, it wasn't really even a support of Donald Trump. It was more a great dislike for Joe Biden.
You know what's funny as hell? Gas prices all the way up now. And y'all know why, right? Cause the same old rotten fuckboy y'all voted for, Joe Biden. Y'all voted for an old shitty piece of shit who can't even finish his own speech. This nigga falling down the stairs, nigga. Up every morning I wipe my ass with this toilet paper. It's amazing.
But why would Lil Pump dislike Joe Biden so much? Maybe it's because he was trying to tax the rich a little bit more, and Lil Pump had been committing massive amounts of tax fraud for a couple years. Yeah, that's right. Apparently Lil Pump hadn't been filing his taxes during his entire career, meaning that he owed the government a lot of money, and apparently he thought that Donald Trump might bail him out if he ended up supporting him. Which once again, I really don't expect anything else from Lil Pump, but at this point, it does make me think, is the guy going broke? I mean, after all, he signed a pretty big deal. I think it was like $2 million at the time, and it's probably pretty hard to burn through all that money in only a couple years. But keep in mind, I mean, he is a rapper, so he's living a pretty luxurious lifestyle, spending a lot of money on drugs, which honestly can't be cheap. He lived in a giant mansion for a while, bought a lot of designer clothes, he had some pretty big chains. Of course, he had to get some fancy cars, he ended up buying a horse at one point, so dude was definitely blowing his money left and right. I mean, after all, he was like 17 years old when he came into all that money. What do you really expect? And in more recent music videos, you can definitely tell that he doesn't have as much money as he used to. It might be because the label isn't backing him anymore, so he can't really get those high-end props, but at the same time, it seems like he's living in a lot smaller of a house than he was before. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up going broke, because I mean, 6ix9ine ended up signing a massive $10 million deal, and Steve Will Do It ended up saying that he was completely broke only a couple years later. I mean, after all, if you make that amount of money and live within your means, get an average sized house, get some nice cars, I mean, definitely enjoy your life, but don't spend more than you're making, then you're gonna be okay. But rappers can't live that type of lifestyle. They gotta live the rapper lifestyle. I also was able to find Smoke Perp's personal YouTube channel, and it shows that he subscribed to a bunch of crypto and NFT type people. He also tried to pull his own NFT scam not too long ago. I believe Pump has also pulled NFT scams in the past. But I mean, that's a rich person scam. Everybody does crypto scams. I mean, even some rappers that I respect actually ended up doing them back in the heyday. It's a quick way to make a little bit of money. Sure, you end up screwing some people over, but overall, it's not the most egregious thing I've ever seen. But it seems like Lil Pump might be doing a little bit more than crypto scams. It seems like he might actually be trying to scam his fans for promo. Although I will be fair and careful with my words here, Lil Pump didn't actually end up scamming anybody in this situation, but it seems like he might have had the intent to do so. So don't look at this video as a Lil Pump is a scammer video, more so as maybe be a little bit careful around Lil Pump because he might not be the most trustworthy. So we got an artist here going by the name of Mezzy Is Gone, who ended up hitting me up a couple of days ago saying Lil Pump tried to get me to pay $1,000 for a repost. It really felt like a scam. He seemed really thirsty too. I still have the DMs and know that he wasn't hacked. This was a month ago. So that means that this happened very recently. In October of 2024, Lil Pump is trying to get people to pay $1,000 for promotion. I mean, the guy definitely has quite a few followers, but do you really think it's worth that much money for a Lil Pump repost? I mean, at this point, he's got the connection to Donald Trump. I would much prefer to get the promo from Trump himself. I'll be willing to pay a whole $2,000 for that. That'd probably get me a lot farther than Lil Pump. So this conversation starts off by him saying, "Yo, what you working on? I see you got something. Let's work, Mickey." And Mickey must be Lil Pump's manager. I mean, he doesn't have a label behind him anymore, but he does have some form of team, so he's not talking directly to Lil Pump right now. But like I've said many times before, it doesn't matter if it's you or your manager on your account. If somebody's scamming somebody under your name, it falls back on you, no matter what. I mean, unless you got hacked. I've seen a lot of people in the comments of the game videos saying maybe he got hacked, it wasn't actually him. But at the same time, if somebody hacks your account, you should at least make it public that it happened and that money was taken. I mean, you don't gotta pay it back in that case, but at least make your fans aware. And I'm not gonna lie to you, what seems more plausible here? That somebody ended up hacking into a big rapper's account without anybody noticing, scamming a bunch of fans over the course of months and got away with it, or that the game himself ended up scamming somebody? I mean, I know people like him, I know he's a poppin' rapper, but it seems a lot more likely that it was actually the game. He then responds to Pump by saying, "I'm gonna send you a freestyle I want to make into a song." He then continues on to do that. Pump responds by saying, "Yeah, you got something good there, let's build on that. What's your budget for promo or some work together? There's no real set prices, let me know, I can make something happen for you right now and put some shit on the floor for you." And honestly, that seems like an automated robotic response. I mean, there's no way that Lil Pump actually types like that. I know the guy is playing a character half the time, but he genuinely is pretty stupid stupid. I don't think he's going to be typing out something that delicate. Bro, as I'm recording this video, I'm wondering if anyone's even going to be mad about what I'm saying about Pump. I mean, does Pump actually have fans? I mean, I know people liked him back in the day, but is there anybody in 2024 who's really going to stick their neck out for fucking Lil Pump? I guess we'll see. He responds by saying, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not in the best position financially. I gotta help out my siblings because our mom and dad got addicted to meth and I've been trying to support them, but I can give you $300, then more in the future. And I know some of you wise guys are definitely gonna have jokes about his parents being addicted to meth in the comments, but I mean, dude, he is from Canada and basically every 1 in 10 people around here is addicted to meth, so it's unfortunately very common. He says, I can do an intro for you on one of your tracks for $400. Get my name on your project and show people we're working together. I will send you the audio in MP3 and you can use it for your unreleased song or remix it. I'm going to talk my shit on it. This will be a good look for you. And dude, I'm not going to lie, this automated ass response looks very similar to what Benny the Butcher had to say in his own DMs. I'm starting to think that maybe this is all connected, but maybe that's me being a conspiracy theorist. Something about him saying I can get on an intro and I'm really going to talk my shit sounds way too similar to Benny the Butcher, and I feel like Benny the Butcher and Lil Pump really don't have anything in common to be talking the same way. Coincidence? I mean, maybe, but I don't know. I mean, let me know what you think in the comments below. He then goes on to say, or let's do a video of me posing and rocking with your track, like fucking with it and showing it to the industry that you are a new one, doing a feedback while I'm vibing with it, talking about you and inviting your following, and then we can build up your credibility for more strong. I can do it for $1,000. Alright, so that message was a lot more illiterate than the previous one, but it still doesn't really sound like Lil Pump. It more so sounds like an Indian person pretending to be Lil Pump, but I mean, who knows? He says, let's do the first one, and when I release the track with your intro on it, we start with the one for $1,000. And honestly, $1,000 for a Lil Pump to vibe to your music, not really sure if that's worth it, but maybe. I just know for myself when I'm scrolling through Instagram and I see a random story of an artist dancing to a song that I never heard before, I don't usually stop and think, hey, I should probably check that out. I just continue to scroll, which I feel like a lot of people would probably do the same, but maybe some people would actually find the right vibe and check it out. He goes on to say, let's get it, ready to lock in, down to build your name up. Do you have Cash App? He says, I'm gonna get it right now, or do you have e-transfer? He said, where are you from? He says, I'm from Winnipeg, Canada. It's pretty whack here, but the music scene is definitely coming up and there's a lot of opportunities. I opened up for a couple dope artists. Lil Xan actually fucks with me hard. Damn, Lil Xan is really putting on for the Canadian scene. Just nobody tell Killy that he's doing that, alright? Lil Pump responds by saying, oh, good fam, so you got crypto. And at this point, I feel like it might actually be Lil Pump himself, but let's see. He says, no, does PayPal work? He says, I don't have it, bro. Where are you from? He says, I'm from Canada, so we don't have Cash App, but yo, can I get a FaceTime from you for a second? That'll be a dream come true. Bro, if you're in Canada, you can set up crypto. That works there. Coinbase, Bianca, or Exodus. And honestly, I don't know a lot about crypto, but I'm not taking any financial advice from Lil Pump whatsoever, so I really don't think I will. And then after that, he stops responding because after all, I don't think anybody really wants to set up a crypto wallet to get a little bit of promotion from Lil Pump. Why don't you have PayPal, Pump? That doesn't even really make sense. But you know what? Because of the crypto wallet, he never ended up sending any money to Lil Pump, so he never got scammed. Would he have gotten scammed? Well, I'm not really sure. But either way, I think it goes to show that Lil Pump might be hurting for money a little bit if he's willing to take $1,000 from an artist. I mean, after all, doesn't he have millions in the bank? Don't you think that it'd be a waste of time to take $1,000 to do promotion? It seems like the money might be running out for Pump, but I don't know. If anybody else has any stories with them actually buying promotion from him, let me know if you got it, or if you got scammed, if he actually ends up delivering on this type of stuff, or is this the first time that he really did something like this? But either way, it's always good to get an update on Lil Pump. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm always interested to see what these fallen off SoundCloud rappers are doing. I mean, I know I talked about at the start of the video that a lot of people have a morbid fascination with them, and honestly, I'm one of those people as well. But with all that said, Pump, I don't really know what you're trying to do here, but you need to stop trying to get $1,000 for promotion and go back to busting people on Vitali's stream. That was very entertaining, and honestly, I think that's your calling in life. Either that, or if you want to come back, make a song with 6ix9ine. I seen the two of you at a show together. You definitely could make a song and that would do numbers, but hey, that's just a little bit of advice from me. You don't got to take it. And with that said, shout out to Knife Gang. Thank you for watching the video. Subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 20K and we're getting very, very close. And with all that said, that's it. Bye. Lil Pump forever. Doot doo loot doo. Icy Narco is better. Fight me.